One-child policy is good. New York Times, the final generation a few weeks ago, written by Peter Singer, the eugenicist, about how we shouldn't be allowed to have any children. Fox News, having more children's bad for the planet. Should we put taxes on it? This is their religion, that humans are bad, that the elite have got to get rid of us. As the Club of Rome said, they would use a fake environmental movement to shut off resources to the world population to where you're too poor to be able to have children. And then if you are poor and have children, they're going to come and say you're neglecting them and take them. Well, here is Time Magazine, the only child myth. This is the current July 19th issue, this week's issue. And it says, they're supposed to be selfish, spoiled, and lonely. In fact, they're just fine on the rise. So I saw this, and I knew it would glorify having an only child. Not that that's bad. I was an only child till my sister came along when I was 14, so that's basically like being an only child. But I knew it would spin it like this is the avant-garde, cool, trendy thing to do. And remember, this targets mainly middle-class people, and that's who's not having children. The entire West is dying. 1.3% replacement rate. For every 2 parents, 1.3 children on average. And I knew before I opened it, because it's always the same propaganda, they would say the economy's bad, it's bad for the carbon output of the earth. We need to have a one-child policy. And you open it up. Give me a document cam shot on this, boys, for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers. You open this up, and sure enough, there it is, one and done. The economy is sluggish, expenses are up, and raising kids cost a bundle. What better time to abandon the stereotypes and embrace the possibilities of the only child? And then it's basically a eugenics article about how great it is. And my wife, we have 3 children. She's had people actually say to her that it's bad to have 3 children in the grocery store. These are the eugenicists. And so this is how they are pushing the wonderful trendiness of all of this. And then they have a community task force that are harassing people who have too much stuff in their house. So CPS for adults, elder care. Again, eugenics was established in the 1860s in England. They created social workers for racial hygiene to basically assault the poor. So that's what's going on there. And as the economy implodes, they're going to blame everything on poor people and on families, not on the bankers that did this, who were eugenicists to a man at the top. Here's another one. Population control advocate wanted to sterilize food and water to sterilize people. Mark Moreno, Climate Depot, talking about Paul Ehrlich, George Bush's advisor. That's just today. This is without looking. And I just covered, of course, aspartame sterilizing women, mainstream news, causing miscarriages. I just covered the BT corn and BT cotton. When they feed the seeds to animals, they have miscarriages or reduced fertility or die. In fact, put up that Google search page with BT cotton killing animals, and you'll get thousands and thousands of searches where mass death in sheep from grazing GE cotton. Mainstream news, government studies, university studies, you name it, it's all there. Continuing, so you're eating this and having miscarriage, reduced fertility. Sterilize the poor and bring back the workhouse. That's a Mail Online story. Here's the Wall Street Journal. Would recession be good for the environment? Lowering our carbon footprint. It's a good thing. Here's another one, Planet Save. Another article about that. Articles all over about the population exploding. The UN says we've got to reduce it. Bill Gates says it. Cap and trade bill will be part of Senate climate change bill. So they're now announcing that they're going to go ahead and try to pass the cap and trade. Polar bear populations exploding despite lies of the media. Evening Standard. Prince Charles says that he's launched a stinging attack on climate skeptics, deriding them for peddling pseudo-science when they've been caught engaged in mass fraud. So that is in the eugenics stack today. They admit that Avandian is causing heart attacks, but the government says it's going to stay on the market. Another article, no shot, no school for Alabama 6th graders as the school year gets ready to begin in a month. But similar articles run everywhere telling you it's the law, you've got to take shots. No, it's policy that you've got to take the shots. And by law, they've got to give you a waiver form. But a waiver to a law that does not exist. Mobile phones causing memory loss, brain damage. Everything they deploy is meant to soft kill you. People say, well, then why do you promote an iPhone app? Well, if we can reach sheeple through cell phones and through the devices frying their brains, why not? I mean, what, I'm not supposed to go into the Matrix? I'm not supposed to jack into the Matrix and, you know, go in there and get people out of it? I mean, what are you talking about? Continuing, ladies and gentlemen, BP fixes Gulf well. And then it's a spin article in USA Today. They say they've gotten the cap on, but they're not sure. In fact, did we ever pull up the latest live video from the wellhead? Can we pull up the webcam of that? I want to put that on screen, even if I've moved on. Government expert witness over 42 million gallons of dispersant used during BP oil disaster. That's more than 40 times what they previously claimed. Even professors, it reports, who believe that the dispersant is good, they say this is way too much to use. So that's the live feed. Does that look like that's been capped to you? That's the live feed? Yeah, it says live. That's the live feed. Does that look like that's been capped to you? But hey, they say it's been capped in USA Today, so it must be true. How many times they claim they capped it now and it's fixed? I wish it was true, but my God, they practice lies. Government expert witnessed 42 million gallons of dispersant being used in the Gulf. Christopher Reddy, Associate Science, Marine Chemistry, and Geochemistry at Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute, said the use of surface dispersants is extremely typical and well understood to be safe, but some concerns remain about the overuse and it getting into the sea depths. Continuing here. EU approves new wave of immigrants. Record numbers coming in. They immediately get on welfare, further bankrupt the country to the private banks. That's out of the Express News. Here's another one. Brussels goes ahead for a new wave of migrants. And they use the tunnel as they call it, from France to England. Every day, unlimited illegals are allowed to just pour in to the country. Here's the Washington Times. Justice Department says sanctuary cities safe from law. A week after suing Arizona and arguing that the state's immigration law creates a patchwork of rules, the Obama administration said it would not go after so-called sanctuary cities that refuse to cooperate with the federal government on immigration enforcement on the grounds that they are not as bad as the states that actively interferes. Yeah, by saying, if we catch an illegal in another crime, we're going to take them to the feds. The feds say no. And then they lobby for the 800-plus cities to not stop the illegals. Continuing with the immigration issue, crisis for Senator Reid as critics slam Reid on immigration remark from Politico. And you can go watch the video of what he had to say. They say we have record numbers of illegals in the construction industry, and they're dodging taxes and all this stuff. And he says we have no problem in Nevada. And no problem. And you saw Congressman Stark 2 weeks ago say there's no border problem, no illegals, no immigration problem. They just throw it in your face and just say there are no illegal aliens working in construction in Nevada. He said it's just none of them here. And then the major research group, basically funded by La Raza, it's a study to try to get, I guess, voting rights or something, shows that it's actually double that. So double 17% in Nevada, the worst in the nation. But he says no problem. Continuing on the illegal alien front, Utah agencies probe alleged illegal immigrant lift. And it looks like somebody inside the state government released a list of 1,300 people that the government knows via audits have got fake Social Security numbers, and they're calling this a Nazi list in the media. Like the government's making lists on people. The government's making lists on everybody dealing with taxes. They're tracking everybody. It's just the illegals are above the law. Continuing here, Dick Cheney undergoes heart surgery. He's literally like Darth Vader now and had a high-tech heart pump added to one of his ventricles to pump the blood for him. He's had 5 heart attacks and many other surgeries. So Satan went under the knife and lived. Continuing, U.S. taxpayers to subsidize new UN agency promoting abortion. Cyber News Service reports an additional $500 million to the United Nations agency that will promote abortion agendas, including forced abortion and infanticide in China. They get UN awards for that. So that is just some of the news on that front. Continuing with the disinformation piece, over the weekend I got emails, I got calls, I saw messages on the text comments on InfoWars and Prison Planet saying, Alex, why aren't you covering the Taliban and monkeys that are trained with machine guns to kill our troops? Because I know enough about primates, even chimpanzees, the most intelligent, or silverback African apes, to know that monkeys and apes cannot be trained to differentiate. And if you trained, I mean, you might be able to train an ape or a monkey to stay behind at your house with a gun, but statistically it would end up one day having fun and shooting you, not knowing. And so I knew it was just ridiculous, put out by our government and others, that those dirty Al-Qaedas had armies of monkeys. This is not Planet of the Apes. Give me a document cam shot on that. This is not Planet of the Apes, my friends. That's only in the Hollywood movies. But, you know, the CIA admits they put out fake Al-Qaeda bin Laden tapes. That's now admitted, a month and a half ago in the Washington Post. And they admit they put out fake videos for you now. And they claim they kill Al-Qaeda leaders over and over and over again and never retract the last time they killed the same